A new abortion bill is being introduced in Kentucky. Here are 3 reasons to support it, followed by some actionable steps on how you can do that. Number 1, the bill declares the equal value of all humans. It says, innocent human life created in the image of God should be equally protected under the laws from fertilization to natural death. It's Genesis 1:27 that tells us God created man in his own image. The implication being that every human being has an innate, immeasurable value because our nature reflects the nature of God. And that's true for every single human being, regardless of their differences. In Psalm 139, which is a prayer to God, it says, "For you formed my inward parts, you knitted me together in my mother's womb." By saying you knitted me together in the womb, the psalmist shows that he was himself when he was in the womb. That means that the developing preborn child is the same person that he will be once he's born, a unique, living human being. Modern science now agrees with that, since we've learned that a person has their full, unique DNA present at the moment of fertilization. So you were genetically the same person then that you are now, the same human being then that you are now. So putting 2 and 2 together, every human life has innate, immeasurable value. And every human life, with all of its value, begins at fertilization. This bill affirms that. Number 2, the bill establishes equal justice for all humans. It says all persons potentially subject to Kentucky homicide laws are entitled to due process protections. So, having established that preborn children are human persons with equal value to the rest of us, the bill goes on here to establish that they should be covered by the same homicide laws as the rest of us, which is only logical. Genesis 9:6 says, "Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed, for God made man in his own image." That's the model homicide law, where the punishment fits the crime and is appropriate to the value of the victim. Proverbs 20 verse 10 says that unequal weights and measures are an abomination to the Lord. So you don't have one set of homicide laws for one type of human and another set of homicide laws for another type of human. Every human under your jurisdiction should be under the same law. You would think we would have learned that by now in the history of this country, but here we are. And this law, this bill, sets the record straight in the state of Kentucky. Number 3, the bill establishes equal protection for all humans. It says, to ensure the right to life and equal protection of the laws, all preborn children should be protected with the same homicide laws protecting all other human persons. So the bill will add abortion to the homicide code, protecting preborn children from homicide just as much as anybody else. It would ensure that everyone involved in an abortion, including parents, can be penalized just the same as if they were involved in the murder of someone who is already born. And again, this is just the logical extension of the fact that preborn children are just as human and just as valuable as the rest of us. And that means that the bill criminalizes not only clinical abortions, but also chemical abortions. It's saying that all murder is bad. Now, that doesn't mean that every time there's an abortion, there will necessarily be a homicide conviction. What it means is that every abortion will be treated as a homicide. That includes everything involved in the judicial process. That includes prosecutorial discretion, consideration of motives and mitigating circumstances. It means that you are innocent until proven guilty. All of that is involved in this. An abortion is treated just like any other murder case. Deuteronomy 16 verse 19 says, "You shall not pervert justice. You shall not show partiality." Partiality is when your laws and your judgments favor one person over another because of who they are rather than because of what they've done. It's when you protect one group of people in a way that you wouldn't protect another, or you shield one group of people from punishment in a way that you wouldn't do for another group. That's wrong. And as I explained in my previous video, that is what current Kentucky abortion law does. And this bill fixes that. So there you have it, 3 reasons to support this bill. Now for how to support it. There are 4 ways. First, call and email your legislators. You can find out who your representatives are by following the link in the description. That will bring you to a page with a map. You can locate where you live on the map. When you click that region, it should pop up and tell you who your congressperson and your senator are. You can follow the links to their pages to get their contact information. Now, I know, if this is your first time doing this, it may feel intimidating, but I want to encourage you that this is a matter of life and death and justice. So I urge you to push through the uncomfortability of it and just do it. And remember, those representatives represent you. So they need to know how to do that. And they should appreciate hearing from you because it's good for them to know how their constituents are thinking about these issues. So you can call their number. More than likely, you're going to leave a message. And you can email their email address and just say something like this. Hello, Representative so-and-so. My name is so-and-so, and I live in district number such and such. I'm calling to request that you vote yes on HB 300, the Prenatal Equal Protection Act. Every human deserves the same level of protection. And as we all know, human life begins at fertilization. So it's only right that we protect all human life from fertilization. So again, please vote yes on this bill. I know there's going to be pressure to do otherwise, but now is the time to be bold in doing what is right before God. So that is my request, and I thank you for your time. If they have previously voiced opposition to abortion in the past, then you might want to add something like this. Please make good on your word to end abortion in the state of Kentucky. So it can be that simple. And for your convenience, I've put that little script down in the description below so that you can reference it and even copy and paste it if you want. The second way that you can support this bill is by attending the rally that is happening at the Kentucky State Capitol building in Frankfort at 10 o'clock a.m. on February 17th. This rally is really important to show our legislators that there's a lot of support for this bill. So please, if you can make it, be there. Third, tell your pastor about this bill and encourage him to urge the congregation to also support this bill by calling their legislators and attending that rally. Fourth and finally, tell your family and friends about this bill and encourage them to take action as well. One way you can do that is by posting about this on social media using the hashtags AAKY, Abolish Abortion KY, and Abolish Abortion KY Bill. If you're on Twitter, then you can also try to find your legislators on there and tweet at them about this because Twitter tends to be where politicians like to hang out. And feel free, of course, to share this video on your social media as well. So those are some ways you can take action on this bill, and I urge you to do it right now because the current legislative session is a short one. So we've got to start making noise about this immediately so that we make sure we get this bill passed. If you have any questions or input, put them in the comments and I'll respond as soon as possible. I've also got some other videos about this issue in the works. So go ahead and subscribe if you don't want to miss those. Now is the time to put the final nail in the coffin of abortion in the state of Kentucky. And every human being, with all of its value,